back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace, and today is Monday, March 13th. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. I have all the various social medias you can follow me on. I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram, so please go follow me over on there if you like to see what I get up to in between the weeks that I record. I also have show notes, so links to things that I will be talking about will be there on my blog, or if you're on my blog or on YouTube, the link is down below. Or if you're on my blog, everything's already there. I also work at a yarn store. It is called Pearly Girls. It is in Spring, Texas, and I will leave all the website, store, social media information in the show notes, so if you'd like to check us out either online or in person, that would be wonderful. I am also a knitting pattern and tech editor. If you are in need of a tech editor, or if you know someone who does, please feel free to send them my information. I have all the information that you can send them, or I can send you, under the Graceful Edits tab on my blog. So I believe that's everything. We're a little bit more casual today. And by casual, I mean I just put on mascara and I have a hoodie on and my hair's not clean. So we're cash. As you do, because that's life and that's reality. So we're recording now. It works best for my schedule today. We're recording a little bit more earlier in the day than I normally do. And we have a lot to chat about. I thought I had a finished object, but I actually don't remember if I do. But I don't want to get the intro too long, so without further ado, if you like to grab something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, something to craft upon, an animal to snuggle, a laundry to fold, whatever brings you joy, or maybe I am helping you get through an unpleasant task, such as folding laundry, which I will be doing later today. I'm pointing because I have a pile on the bed that I have folded, but it's left over from last week. Because again, reality, this is just what happens. You can do all those things and none of those things, whatever brings you joy, and you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. When in doubt, if you're feeling a little flat, you put on some nice, fun, fancy earrings and everything will all be okay. Which I think I've said that before on the podcast. I still firmly stand by that. I think putting on any kind of like earrings that make you feel, that's my thing. I know some people prefer lipstick. That also totally makes sense. Doing your hair nice. Whatever it may be. The cat is wandering around. Hello. Are you exploring? His birthday's coming up, fun fact. I actually don't know the day, but I do know that it's in April. So that's crazy. Hi. How are you? So yes, I could have sworn that I had a finished object, and I don't think I actually do. I think I had intended on having a finished object this week, based off of my progress that I had made last time I recorded, and that did not really happen. But I did make a lot of progress on a lot of things, so there is that. I did have, there's some, I need to throw that away. That's like a little piece of tree pollen stuff. Somehow found its way inside. Imagine that. What a shocker. So there is, technically, if it's not, it's a very old finished object, but you all haven't seen it yet in person here on the podcast. I have posted about it on Instagram, so if you don't follow me over on there, I had the honor of test knitting a sweater pattern out of the new La Bien-Aimée Neons and Neutrals book. I believe it's called the Vidira sweater. It is all in tarja. There's minimal seaming. I believe you only do it along underneath the arm. There is the option to have pockets. There's an option to have a hood. I opted for yes pockets, no hood, and I used a variety of stash plus knitting for olive merino that I got from Pearly Girls. And it was so much fun to knit. It was knit on a relatively large needle, so that was nice and went quickly. And the intarsia was a challenge, but very fun to do as well. So if you're interested in it, I have put it away already, and honestly couldn't tell you where I put it. But, which then begs the question, did you really put it away if you can't remember where you put it? So you should check out my Instagram, and you can see all the stuff there, and also my Ravelry page. And yeah, so that's very exciting. That's kind of my finished object. The cat is exploring places he doesn't normally explore, so he's just like chilling. What you doing? You having a fun little day this morning? He's now headed into the bedroom. Anyway, it's actually quite a very pleasant day today. It was quite chilly this morning. I went out for a walk, and it was like in the mid to low 50s with quite a brisk northerly wind, which is very nice. We have a lot of weather coming, which I think is also lending itself to me feeling a little bit flat. If you're new, I have weather headaches quite often. And of course with allergies and pollen and everything, it's sinuses and headaches and just are a thing. So if you're in the same boat as I am, my heart goes out to you. There's also neighbors having work done. There's a lot of like maintenance going on for some reason. When I was on my walk, a lot of people are having things done today, and neighbors are hammering on something. So if you can hear that, I do apologize, but at least there's currently no dryer going, so there's that. Where do we begin? Where do we begin? We don't have a finished object, but we do have a potential cast on that has not actually happened yet. I had wanted to do it on Friday, but that did not end up happening, which is okay because I really need to focus on some other things. Eventually I'll be able to do my spontaneous cast on, but right now I cannot. So the big thing that I'm currently working on that is a test knit is this currently, as far as I'm aware, it is unnamed. It is a sweater by Alicia Plummer, and it is a very cozy, heavily cabled, this is upside down, cabled dolman sleeve sweater. I've got these, I don't want stitches to fall off my needles. It's very hard to show what it looks like while it's like in the process of being knitting, because I could show you this, and what is this? We don't even know. It's a mess, but I do know what's going on. So it's bottom up, and you do a bunch of increases, and then you divide, and you knit for a while flat on the front and the back, and then you join again, and then you do some decreases, and then Bob's your uncle. We remember. So I'm currently just plugging away. I have finished whatever one I did first. I don't remember. It was either the front or the back. It's a 50-50 shot. They're both the same, so it really doesn't matter. The cat is now watching me from the couch. I can't snuggle you right now. I'm busy. I will come snuggle you later. I'm sorry. He's just being manipulative with his eyes. He's had quite the attitude today. I'm sorry. I will come snuggle you soon. I'm sure your pets do this too. They all have little attitudes because they're little people, basically. Um, so yes, I've just been plugging along. There was a deadline extension, which is really nice, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm using Kelborn. There's more tree pollen. I don't know how that happened. Maybe that was the same one that was on the, that I put right there. I don't see any more. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's everywhere anyway. I'm using Kelbor Woolen's Scout in this obviously gray colorway. I got it from Maker and Stitch, and I love this yarn. It is amazing. So this is the bottom, and I've knit up, and clearly we have this little mini cabled section on the side, and then the main cabled section along the front, and it is the same on the front and the back. And yeah. The second side is going faster, so that is a plus. And I am excited to be getting to the portion where I can in fact start decreasing, and my rows will get shorter and it'll all be fine. So yay. But yeah, it's just, I am plugging along. I have to work on this every day, otherwise I just don't. I love this project, don't get me wrong. It's a great pattern. I'm so excited to be able to wear it. I love the yarn. I am just really over the process of knitting it. And this is the downside of test knitting, is that when you are doing something for a long period of time, you get tired of it. And when it's not a test knit, you have the freedom to be like, you know what, this is just gonna go into timeout for a while. I'm gonna start something new, or I'm gonna work on something else, and it'll be fine. And then I'll come back to this thing that I'm tired of, and I will be rejuvenated, and I will finish it quickly. And you can't do that with test knitting because you have a deadline. And it is just a fact of life of a test knitter. And that's okay, because then I will get things done. So yes, that is the unnamed sweater test knit for Alicia Plummer. Very exciting. And I do have one other test knit on my needles currently, which is very exciting. Last time we chatted, I had not gotten my yarn yet, but I did have confirmation, I think, that I was going to be doing it, which was very exciting. I am test knitting once again for Isabel Kramer. If you have watched any of the recent episodes, you would know that we are all big Isabel Kramer fans here at the Catknit podcast, at the Catknit household. I've been a longtime fan, test knit for her a couple of times before, haven't been able to do it in a while, and I was so excited to get this particular test knit. And so I got some yarn for my main color. It's a colorwork sweater, it's top down, it's yoked. Beautiful color work. Using Stash for my contrasting colors, and I'm using Barocco Vintage, which I got from work, for the main color body situation. Ta-da! And yes, it's another green sweater, and it's funny because last time I talked about how I didn't really have any green sweaters, and I have my green cardigan that's happening, and I need to knit with it more. And trying to figure out colors for the sweater after I said all that was just clearly like, I need this, the main color has to be green. It will not be any other color. It has to be green. So here's what I have. This is the Nefeli, Nefeli sweater. Once again, test knit for Isabel Kramer. I have finished the color work up at the top, and I have divided for the sleeves. So now it is just a body city for me, which I love. It was great. Just great mindless knitting. I don't believe there's any color work around the bottom before the hem. It is short sleeved. Obviously you can lengthen those to long sleeves if you so desire. I will be doing the short sleeves. So it is a worsted weight. which is pretty heavy for us here. That being said, we do have some cold weather coming, which, like I said, which is very exciting. But it might be nice to have in my knitting wardrobe a heavier weighted sweater with short sleeves, because I can layer up if I need. I can have long sleeves underneath, and then I have the ability to keep my body warm and my arms to be cool, because I do feel like if I get overheated, my arms, if they can have some breeze to them, I'm pretty okay. So maybe that's my answer. I need to knit more heavier weight sweaters with short sleeves. If I'm gonna be knitting heavier weights, they need to be shorter sleeves. I honestly don't know. This is an experiment, but I am excited to have this sweater, and there will be some color work around the cuff of the short sleeve as well. But I'm loving this so much. I'm loving how these colors have turned out. We are going to hope and pray that this blue does not bleed, because if it does, I will be very sad. I probably will just be steaming it for the time being until I actually need to wash it. So if we're being completely honest, full transparency, yes, this is a worry of mine, and I think it's very valid. Because the blue that I'm using is Madeline Tosh, almost every single, so again, not a knock against the yarn, but almost every single heavily saturated yarn that I've used from them at any point in my knitting career, when blocked in, like, submerged in a bath, has always bled. So we will see. We will see. So I'm getting notifications. Okay. So, so yeah, that is a thing in the back of my mind. It's not the top worry of mine. The neckline, she wrote it to have it just be like this, so kind of like a rolled neckline. There are short rows. As you can see, that's much longer in the back than it is on this side, which would mean that this is the front. And some people have added the ribbing around the neckline, some people have not. I'm gonna see what I think, because I know that it looks nice without on her little sample picture, so I will wait and see until I have a finished sweater for the most part, and then decide what I'm gonna do about the neck. Which is nice that we have been given the option. But so, like I said, the blue is Madeline Tosh. The white is actually my big skein from Heathered Handmaid's Advent Calendar 2 years ago. And the colorway was called Bunny Hops. And so it's kind of like a creamy white with like some variegation of like a minty olivey green and a little bit of gray as well, which is very pretty. You can't really tell on camera, but when you look at it closely, you can kind of see there's some variation in the color, which I think adds to some nice dimension, especially with color work like this. So yeah, I'm just plugging along. This was my car knitting on Saturday. Sam and I went to the Houston rodeo, which I had never been before, so that was very exciting. The point was to go and see Turnpike Troubadours in concert, which was super fun. And if you enjoy country bluegrassy music, I would highly recommend you checking them out. But we also got to see some of the events that happened, like barrel racing and all the other things. Not all of them, but we did see some of them. It was quite the rodeo experience, and I highly enjoyed myself. But to get to the rodeo, it was about an hour 50 minutes, something like that. And as you can imagine, traffic was not great. So that was really, it was really nice. We left later in, or kind of like early afternoon. So I had the morning to get to the point where I had divided for my sleeves, which was really great. And it worked out great. So I could work on the body while we were driving, and then I could work on it in the dark on our way back. And it was just perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. It was great. No, I did not bring knitting with me into the rodeo. I did think about it. We did check. I probably could have, but it was fine that I didn't. It was really okay. It meant that I was more present, I guess. I don't know. I didn't have my knitting, so, and that is a big thing for me. So if you bring knitting everywhere that you go, even if you know you're not going to be able to knit and you still bring it with you, that's me. And the fact that I didn't even have it in my bag as a possibility was quite a thing. But I survived. There were a few moments where I was like, I could be knitting right now. Kind of makes me sad a little bit, but I did it. I don't need to knit. I don't need to. It's okay. It's fine. I don't need to be doing something with my hands. I will be okay. And it was fine. It kind of makes it sound like there are bigger issues at hand, but it's all knitting. It's all fine. I got distracted. So that was my other test knit. I only have 2 on my needles currently. I'm so excited to be testing for Alicia Plummer and Isabel Kramer. I am really enjoying both of those things. And yeah. Based off of when do I record next? That's a good question. I should have, yeah, by the next time we record, I should have a finished Isabel Kramer sweater, which is very exciting. And honestly, this is a nice little segue. I may have 2 because I did finish. This is not attached to anything, is it? I don't think it is. Then why is the ball of yarn here? No, it's not. I didn't need to bring this over. This is my Ella or Ela cardigan by Isabel Kramer, E-L-A-H. I'm knitting this out of Harrisville Designs Nightshade in the Static colorway, because I do remember. It's just a very woolly, fluffy gray that has been kind of like milled and spun with little flecks of, or did I say gray? It's black. That's been milled or spun with little flecks of gray. So it kind of gives an undertone of gray. They have other tones that you can get. There's pink, there's red, there's green, there's blue, there's various shades of those. There's white, I think. And then they have the opposite, the Daylights version, which is the same thing, but it's on like a creamy white base. So I did finish the body of my Ela cardigan. I need to decide which one I think it is, because I don't like saying both. It makes me sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. But I do indeed. I did finish the body of this, and now we can fully see in all of its glory the amazingness of this. It's beautiful. It does look a little short. That's okay. I am not worried. A little short. I mean, it's regularly cropped. All I have to do, and I could actually leave it as is, but I do want to have sleeves on it. And I had fully intended of having both these sleeves done by today. But the times that I wanted to work on this thing, I would pick up the project bag because I knew I had put my like 16-inch needles or whatever, 12-inch needles in the bag. And every time I was going to go work on them, I would open up the bag and I had forgotten that the needles have gone missing. I don't know where they are. I have other pairs I could use, most definitely. But it concerns me that these needles have gone missing and I don't know where they are. I'm pretty sure they fell out of the project bag at some point. And I just need to figure out where they are. I know they're somewhere. So every time I'm like, oh man, I don't have these needles. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to go digging and find another pair of these needles. I'll just work on something else. So they just didn't get done. But I would really like to have this done in 2 weeks. So fingers crossed, I don't procrastinate, which is literally the biggest problem that we have with the situation. I just don't put in the time or the effort, apparently. There are other things that I need to work on. Well, it's also an element of like, I can't find these needles. I don't want to go digging. Oh, I should probably actually work on this Alicia Plummer test knit. I'll just work on that for this evening. And that's usually how things have been going the past couple of days. Which again, it is just a fact of a test knitter's life. And it is okay. And is okay. But yeah, I'm super happy with how this turned out. I know it's kind of hard to see. It'll look probably more visible once it's blocked, but we have these lace panels on the front. The back is all stockinette. And the applied ribbing along the side is you do it as you go. So it's got some pretty fun construction. I enjoyed it. This yarn did come from Maker and Stitch. So it's wonderful. Plugging along. I think it'll be a delightful cardigan to have for sure. It does not have buttons. That's okay. It smells so good. It just smells really nice and woolly. And it's really soft and I just want to lay my head down. I'm tired. Are you tired? I'm tired. Is a nap in my to-do list today? I honestly don't know. It's too early to think about that right now. We can't be thinking about naps right now. And I keep getting notifications. So, moving along. Other projects that we have been working on, and by we, I mean me. I have been working on my Linden cardigan by Melody of Bee Mandarins. This is just a basic V-neck cardigan with this fun slip stitch textured pattern. I love it. I have my Little Bitty Delights progress keeper marking where I was last time, so I have gotten a good amount of progress. This is my other green sweater that is happening, and yes, I am aware that St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and has it crossed my mind to try and finish one of my 2 green sweaters by Saturday or whatever, Friday or whatever day it is, because I will be working and it will be cold. It will be very cold, in fact. Yeah, it has crossed my mind. I don't know if it's possible. I really don't know if I'm just like thinking these grandiose thoughts and putting these impossible goals on myself and then feeling really bad when I don't meet them, because I would like to wear sweaters on certain days. I think the what am I trying to say? It doesn't help the fact that we don't get very many cold days. Sorry, there's a bug buzzing out on the other, but it's on the other side of the window, so it's all okay. The fact that we don't get very many cold days, so there's, in my mind, I have put this pressure on myself to have things available for these very few days of colder weather. And so I'm just like, we got to get things done. And it's like, it's not possible. You're going to stress yourself out too much. It's not worth it. And it's like, but also, we don't have many of these days, so you have to make the most of it. But also, it's not worth it. We're just addressing all these, like, all these issues today. I made it without bringing my knitting. Me putting these crazy goals of finishing things by a certain time so we can wear them while it's cold because we don't have many cold days. It's just me talking out loud. Anyway, so I'm really enjoying working on this. It's very chill. I'm about to make my 3rd buttonhole, I think out of 5. I honestly don't remember, but I do have this button band that you make as you go, which is really great, so I don't have to pick up and go around and do that afterwards. Yeah, so it's super easy, very chill. I'm loving it. I'm using Erin Moore Light from the Fiber Company in the Shire colorway. Shamrock. I was close. It could have been Shire, but it's not. It is Shamrock, which is even more appropriate for me to finish it for St. Patrick's Day. I don't think I can do this by Saturday. I don't think that's possible. Is it possible? I want to enjoy this. That's also the thing. Like, I physically probably could. Would I enjoy the process, though? That's the other big thing. Do I want it bad enough to make it a stressful situation and not have fun doing it? But I could also finish the Isabel Kramer one because that has to be done by a certain date anyway. These are such huge dilemmas in my mind. They're really not, though. They're very, very small. These are very not important issues. But they take up so much space in my brain, you know. Anyway, I'm just rambling. I love this. I just really love, I mentioned this last week, but just the whole vibe, the vibes, the style, the designs of Melody's designs. I've been a fan for quite a long time. I've done a few test knits for her before, and I just want all of it. Which would also involve living in a climate, a place that has more than 10 days of actual cold. And that's not 10 days back to back, that's 10 days like scattered here and there. Actual seasons, less humidity. Again, we're touching on so many other issues and other topics that are not what this podcast is about. So I apologize. I'm sorry. We're just feeling extra spicy today. Apparently, we're just like airing all the dirty laundry, which the dirty laundry is getting cleaned today and will be folded and will be put away because I don't like it when I put it off and then I've got extra laundry to do the following week. Again, more issues that don't belong in this podcast. I have one more project to show you and then we will talk about a potential spontaneous cast on, and you may be able to guess what this is going to be. And it still doesn't look like much, but it is my bubble cardigan. I finished the 2 fronts and they're hanging out together on a Scooby. I have picked up for the back along the I-cord. And now we are just plugging away until I have a certain amount of stripes, and then I will join everything together. And goodness gracious, are my rows long. I feel like it is going to take a long time, but I knew that it would be a long progress. It would take a long time to make progress, and this is a big deal. This is a big deal. We're going to enjoy the process. We are not rushing this. There's no pressure to get this done anytime soon. Also because it's getting ready to have our 1 or 2 cold days, and then it's going to get hot again, and it'll probably be hot for a while. Probably until November, October if we're lucky. I'm not upset about this at all, am I? What would make you say that? I don't know. I'm sorry. I need to chill. My Bubble Cardigan by Stephen West. It is wonderful. It is amazing. I truly love... Let's talk about some positive things, shall we? I love these colors. I love how it is turning out. It is more than I could have hoped for, which I mentioned last time that we spoke. But so I'm using a combination of Suburban Stitcher. It's mostly Suburban Stitcher with a couple skeins of Heathered Handmaids thrown in there. I'm using 8 colorways, and he does call for 7 technically, but I had 8. I wanted to use 8, so I'm using 8. And you can, it's one of those things where you can use as few or as many as you so desire. But we've got this beautiful bubble stitch. And yes, so now I'm just plugging away on the back by itself, so it's all still going to be flat. I did think about for a hot second doing the whole sticking thing, because Kristen of Vine, she has a knitting podcast and is a yarn dyer if you are unaware. But I believe it was in 2020, 2021, maybe 2020. I don't remember exactly. It was in the height of the pandemic, I do believe. She was making one, and she reconfigured it so she wouldn't have to purl, and therefore was going to be steeking it, and it turned out amazingly. And I did think about doing that for a hot second, but I knew that would probably take too much brain power that I wanted to put into this. I wanted it to be fun and kind of mindless. Kind of mindless. I mean, this is very easy to do. I know it looks complicated and it looks like, whoa, you're doing weird things with these long stitches. It's very easy and it's very mindless. And then I would have this constant looming fact that I'd have to eventually steek it over my head while working on it, and that would not be fun. So I'm just knitting it the regular as written, which is totally fine. Who knows, maybe I'll make another one someday and I will steek that, but right now we're just knitting it flat. But yes, I am loving this so much. It is just truly delightful. It's slow going, but I knew that and I wanted that, and it is for a good reason, and I'm very excited about it. So that's my Bubble Cardigan by Stephen West. I think this is going to be a shorter episode this time. I'm very sorry for that, but there's still quite a few, like, it's not because of lack of things to talk about, that's for sure. So, as you might assume, if you work in a yarn store, there's pretty high likelihood of being distracted by either yarn, new projects, either that get put online and then you're like, I'm at work, I'm looking at the yarn, there's this new pattern, I'm just gonna figure it out now, how much I need, oh wait, whoops, I just bought the yarn. Or people come in and they're like, I'm gonna make this project, and you're like, oh man, I have yarn for that. I want to make yarn. I want to make that too. And then that usually is also, I don't want to say that it's a hazard because it's not a bad thing necessarily. It's just a thing. But it happens quite a lot, as you can imagine. It is wonderful and I love it. But on Friday, there's discussion of knitting a diaphanous raglan, the diaphanous raglan by Jessame, and it is the one it's one of those ones that like you probably saw all over Instagram when it was coming out and shortly after, but couldn't remember the name. That was me. It is in fact called the diaphanous raglan, and it's like, it's fingering and mohair. The body is fingering and mohair, and the sleeves, which there are a variety style of sleeves that you could do, is just mohair. So I was good in the fact that I knew that I wanted to use my stash, so I was patient. I should say that. I was not good, I was patient. I was patient and waited till I got home from work to look at my stash, and I knew the yardages that I needed. I do in fact need to get the pattern, but I am planning on doing it. And here's my yarn. I'm so excited. Let's get this so it's all facing right side up. Ta-da! So I'm using this skein of Skein Queen in the Tweedor base, which is Superwash, BFL, and Donegal Tweed in the Angel colorway, which is very pretty. It's been in my stash for a very long time. Again, it's one of those nice things that I'm not saving because we use the nice things. And then another very nice thing that I have is a skein of Chelsea Luxe mohair in a semi-precious colorway. So I think together it will create a very beautiful diaphanous raglan. So I'm not sure when I'm casting this on. I am working tomorrow, or yesterday if you're watching this, on Wednesday. So I may go ahead and wind this up. I do need to still get the pattern. I really need to finish some things first. And if I want my St. Patrick's Day sweater, then this is really not going to help that. You know, so I don't know. I may wind it up just so I have it ready to go. This is definitely what like I want it to be. Like, this is not going to be anything else. So it's just a matter of when. And I know that other people are casting it on soon if they have not done it already. And I just really I would really like to. But again, do I want my St. Patrick's Day sweater? Do I need to work on the Alicia Plummer test knit? I love my bubble cardigan. But also, I think this is going to go pretty quickly too. Huge range of sizes, which is awesome, and really doesn't use that much yarn for all of the sizes, which is really great. So it's a pretty easy stash busting thing. I think it would also be fun to use, like, if you had a bunch of like little bits and pieces of the mohair left over, if you could kind of like fade the mohair almost, if you had a neutral or something like that. So that is my plan for this. When it's happening, I don't know. But don't worry, you will know. You will know. And if you don't know, you should also follow me on Instagram, because Instagram will definitely know. Oh my goodness. That's all that I have to talk about. I apologize if I forget things. If you watch regularly and you're like, wait, you talked about this last week, there was no follow-up. you said you would work on it, and I do apologize. I just have slept since then. And yeah. I do my best. I really do my best. It's not for lack of trying, that is for sure. So I try and bring good content to the podcast with a good amount of projects, which I think I did this week. So anyway, like I said, that is all that I have. I have all the various social medias. I have show notes. I have Yarn Store information. I have tech editing information. If any of that sounds interesting to you, you can check it out. All the various places. If you cannot find what you were looking for, or if you just want to say hi, please feel free to send me a message on Instagram. I would love to have a chat. I hope you've had a wonderful week and weekend, and you continue to have a wonderful week and weekend. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are so successful. We know my crafty plans. Do we have a St. Patrick's Day sweater? I don't know. Again, don't worry. If I do, Instagram will know day of, and you will know the week after. Or I guess that following week. Yeah, because I would be recording. No. What? Yes. No. The week after. Yeah, it would be the week after. Anyway, sorry that was complicated. Dates and time, they all blend together. So again, follow me on Instagram. You'll be up to date. Just make general progress. I'd like to finish some things, but in this moment, I'm like, whatever happens, happens. There's not a lot of pressure. When in actual fact, there is pressure to do some things, so I do need to finish some things soon. But that is okay, you know? Just a little bit. Set those timers. 30 minutes in rotation. 15 minutes in rotation. 45 minutes in rotation. Anything in rotation, you will eventually get it done. You would be surprised how much you can get done that way. Which is really great. So I think I need to eat lunch. I think that's what my problem is. I think I'm hungry. Yep, that will be my problem. I need to go eat some lunch. So, and also transfer over some laundry. So with that, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I apologize that this episode was all over the place. I feel like I rambled all over various topics, and hopefully the knitting content was good. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope there was enough. Thank you for being you. You are wonderful. You are enough, and I will see you all soon with whatever knitting I may have. We all come as we are, in our unwashed hair and our hoodies. But we put on fancy earrings or lipstick and we all feel fine. It's all okay. We will get through this. The end of this is just a pep talk for the rest of my day. Anyway, I will see you all later. Thank you so much for being here. And yes, that's all. Okay, bye.